everyone, welcome back to my channel, Mingby and I. My name is Mandy and I am a full-time reseller. On today's video, this is my What Sold Wednesday video, so I will go over all of my numbers for the week of October 7th through the 13th. I will say Poshmark definitely, increased from the first week of their fee change. I was a little worried during those last couple days because there were like multiple days in a row where I had 0 sales on that platform. Things have definitely picked up over there, which is great. eBay kind of fell short a little bit this week. I'm not sure what was going on there. Depop continues to grow for me. I had 6 sales over there, and then Mercari just kind of hangs out within like that 3 to 6 range. On eBay, my sale did end. I think it ended somewhere in the beginning of the week for my summer stuff that was like 40% off or whatever it was. And I still have a hat sale that is running. I believe it's 35% off select hats in my store. And then at my booth, if you are new to the channel, I am renting like a booth that's really just like a clothing rack with some shelving on the side. That is going okay, I think. The first full week is over, and I think I've made, the last time I looked, it was around $53, and I've sold 6 or 7 things. I restocked it last night. I put a lot more things in there. At first, I think I didn't have enough, so it didn't look very full, but I wasn't sure what to expect. I will go over all of that in the video that is dedicated to that. That's been an ongoing filming video. I'm going to recap the whole month, so it's a full video, so stay tuned for that in a few weeks once the rental agreement is over. So I will scoot over and we will go over my sales. Starting with Poshmark. These were a pair of vintage Skechers that I picked up at the bins in our town. They recently stopped doing shoes, which is really unfortunate because I did find quite a few like Y2K styles there. These were a size 10, really chunky, and they did go for my full asking price of $40. There was some damage to them just from age. My tip to you on shoes that are older or even boots from nowadays, make sure you do the bend test. So that means you take the sole and you just really twist it. Make sure that it is not going to fall apart. A lot of times these shoes are not stored properly. You know, they could be sitting in someone's basement for a long time or someone's garage where the weather is fluctuating, so the temperature is not always the same. The shoes can look like they are in excellent condition. Dansko is another one that this happens to. And then someone tries them on and wears them for a couple minutes and they fall apart. It's dry rot. It ends up happening sometimes in boots and shoes like that. So just make sure to do the bend test before you buy them. Also, Skechers is known for that too. You can sometimes just put your whole finger through like the foam on the older Skechers. So just make sure when you're buying shoes to really kind of bend around on them and make sure that they're not going to fall apart for your buyer. Another pair of shoes, these APL sneakers, these came in a thread-up box not too long ago. There was some discoloration on them. I was able to clean them up somewhat, but someone did come in and buy these for $60. Next up is a plush. I'm not a huge plush seller. I will pick it up if it's something that kind of looks intriguing to me or I can get it really cheap. I got this at Goodwill. It's the sun. It's part of like a solar system grouping of celestial buddies, I guess. I did a quick little eBay search and saw that the sell-through rate was pretty good. I had this for maybe 2 months and it sold for $15. Next up is a pair of Champion girls outfits. This came from that store where everything was $1. These are finally starting to sell, which is good. I have quite a few of them. I have more boys sizes that haven't been moving yet, so we'll see it maybe closer to Christmas. These did go for $18. This Talbot's jacket I picked up at the bins. It was new without tags. It still had the little hang tag with the buttons. It was really cool, rainbow metallic. This was also an 18W petite, and this went for $38. Next up is a Harry Potter robe. This was a child size. I can't tell you how many comments I've had on this one and the Ravensclaw one that have asked, like, will this fit a grown adult? Is this for adults? Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, all you need to do is look at the listing. It says children's Halloween costume in the title, and it's listed under kids. So that just goes to prove that people do not read. At least they asked. Hopefully, thankfully they didn't just buy it and then be upset because it was a child size, I guess. So this went for $17. This was picked up at the bins. Next up is a pair of Lucky Brand black jeans. So these were also picked up at that dollar place. There is kind of like a weird thing going on with all of these jeans. There was a tag in the back that said high rise Bridget something maybe, and then on the interior tags they said that they were mid-rise straight ankle. So I took the high rise tag off because, let's see, the rise on these were only about like 9 inches. To me, it's got to be at least about 10 to be considered high rise. So I think those high rise tags were put on all of these incorrectly, and that's why that store had so many of them. So I just took that off and listed them as what the interior tag was, and this one for $29. Next up is another pair of Lucky Brand jeans. These were the baby boots. Someone offered me 20. I think I had it closer to 30. I took another look. These were only a size 0 and they were low rise. I'm fine with 20. These were picked up at the bins. Another pair of jeans. These, I'm not kidding you, I had listed for I think like a day and a half. Vervet is it Flying Monkey? I think it's part of Flying Monkey's jean company. These were distressed skinny high rise. These did go for my full asking price of $22. I think skinny jeans definitely are having a moment right now just because it's boot season. There are a lot of people that still like to wear boots and prefer to wear them with skinny jeans. And I also find plus size does better for me in skinny jeans. So these went for $22. Here's another pair of skinny jeans. These were also an extra large, and they were from Old Navy, the Stevie polka dot pant. These were textured and they were new with tags. I've had these for a while. I'm kind of staying away from bottoms in Old Navy for whatever reason. That doesn't sell. I can sell pretty much anything else from Old Navy but the bottoms. So I was happy to see this go for $22. Another pair of jeans. So lots of jeans are moving. You can tell it's fall. I've had these for probably a year and a half. I don't know why they weren't moving. Gap is so hit or miss for me in denim. Sometimes I list it and it sells immediately. Other times like these, they sit forever. They're a 70s high-rise flare dark wash in a size 33. I thought for sure these would have went a long time ago. I know dark wash is kind of making a comeback now, which I just got into the light wash jeans. I used to always wear like indigo wash. That was like definitely my style. And I finally am used to the light wash, and now we're going back to the dark wash. But that's just how fashion trends work. Anyways, these finally went for $20. Someone offered me that and I was fine to see them go. Next up is a pair of vintage poppies, like Granny Witch shoes. I got these at Goodwill a couple weeks ago. I think I paid $5.99. Comps were definitely better on eBay when I was looking. Like they were selling like $60 to $65. So that's what I had these listed at originally. Someone came in, offered me $30. I declined it. They came in with $40 and I thought I'm just gonna double check, you know, to make sure I was right in my comps. I looked on Poshmark. Some of them were selling for like $20. So I figured I better just take $40 and go. They were a size 11 though, which I wasn't seeing very many of these. But these were definitely a cool style boot for $40. Another Harry Potter item. This I called an invisibility cloak. I don't know if that's really what this is, but I'm assuming. I'm not a huge Harry Potter person, but I don't know what else this would be. I don't believe it's like anyone's part of like their costume or character in Harry Potter. So that's what I called this, and it did go for my full asking price of $18. Next up is a Vince Camuto top. I believe this came in a Quick Lots box. I would not have picked this up on my own, and this did go for an offer of $22. And then the last item to sell this week was a Kindred Bravery bra. It's a nursing bra. I'm not exactly sure. I believe what they're known for is it's like hands-free for pumping. Like the little straps come down and you're able to breastfeed that way. This I picked up at the bins quite a while ago and it did go for $25. Now onto Mercari. This item I actually picked up at the place my booth is in. I'm definitely going to keep going there probably a couple times a week or at least weekly once my booth is done. They have a revolving schedule on consignment that you can bring in and not do the booth. So they mark it for you. And then after so much time, it starts getting discounted. And then once it's finally at the end of the discount, it's just as $1. So they have $1 rack, $1 bin for the shoes. And I don't think people know some of these brands. I didn't know that this was an Anthropologie brand, Let Me Be. I just thought, oh, this is a really cute embroidered like mini dress tunic type situation. And it was a 1X. So I took it home, not expecting it to be anything, and then I Google lensed it and it was Anthropologie. This sold for $40 in probably a day and a half and had likes on every platform. Next up is a Charter Club jacket. This I picked up last winter at the bins. It was new with tags, size large, faux fur hood. Fall items are definitely starting to move, which is great because they are typically more money and bigger, so it's kind of giving me some more space as they're moving out. And then the last item to sell on Mercari this week was Cotopaxi. I think I'm saying that correctly. It was a color block, like hiking type sweatshirt. This I picked up at the bins just a couple weeks ago for $22. Now onto eBay. This was a vintage Columbia jacket. I have definitely stopped with the vintage Columbia stuff. It doesn't move for me. There's a lot of it out there. You find it quite frequently. Some other people can definitely sell it. I've just given up on it unless it would be, I don't know, it'd have to be something really special. This did actually go for my full asking price of $22. I do believe there was a slight flaw, so I was happy to see that go. Next up is a Torrid dress. I thought about keeping this myself, but it just did not look right, and I'm like, where am I wearing this to? So this ended up going for an offer of $25. It was picked up at the bins. This is the last block leotard that I have from that bins pickup. That was an amazing pickup. If you ever find this brand and it's new with tag, I would definitely pick it up because they sold very quickly. All I have left is the pair of shorts. So the shorts must not be as popular as these one pieces. This ended up going for an offer of $24. This was a cashmere sweater. I picked it up and I knew it had flaws. I didn't know exactly the brand. I picked it up because it was cashmere and I figured I'd look at the brand later at the bins. So once I got it home and I was kind of looking into it, Johnston's of Elgin, I don't know it. It's vintage. It goes for a lot. If this would have been in immaculate condition, I probably could have got close to like $80. This one unfortunately did have a couple spots of discoloration. I'm assuming someone could get it dry cleaned. I don't know for a fact if all of it would come out. I wasn't going to pay for that to happen. I figured if somebody wants it, they can do that. This did end up going for an offer of $30, which isn't bad for damaged cashmere. North Face hat. This I picked up at Goodwill for probably $1.99. This one did go for my 35% off sale, so it did only go for $12.35, which is fine. I have a lot of hats right now, so I'm trying to liquidate a little bit. Next up is Cabby. This is one of my favorite brands to sell. It's one of those brands where you just kind of put it out there and it will sell eventually because there is such a following. I would stay away from really dated pieces unless there's something substantial to them. Otherwise, the newer ones go pretty well. This one did go for an offer of $25. This is old film, so it did expire in 2004. I make sure to put that in the title. People are still looking for this kind of stuff just because there are, certain cameras that need certain film. This ended up going for an offer of $21.99. This jacket was pretty cool. It was like a bomber vinyl style jacket. I picked this up at the bins probably 3 weeks ago. I go for my full asking price of $35, but when I was packing it up, I noticed there was some discoloration on the back. I must not have noticed it when I was taking the pictures because as you can see, when the light reflects, you see white, and it almost looked like it was white paint on the back, just a couple spots. So I messaged the buyer and, I said, here's the deal. There's some marks on here I didn't notice. If you'd still like me to send it, I can take $8 off or I can cancel the sale. That way it is giving them the option of what they want to do. So if they told me to cancel, then I can go into eBay and say, customer requested, as opposed to me saying I need to cancel this sale and then that would ding my account. They were more than happy to take the $8. They thanked me for being honest as opposed to just shoving it in an envelope and being like, hey, let's see what happens. So always make sure that you're honest if you do catch a flaw before you send it out. Next up is Alan Flusser. I got a whole bunch of these at the bins the other day. They're kind of like a quirkier paisley disco type print on all of them. This was definitely the coolest looking one with the colorway. This ended up going for $24. Next up is a Knox Rose dress. I've had this for a while. I've slowed down on this brand unless it's something that I can kind of use some keywords for. This did end up going for $13. Now onto Depop. These shoes I picked up at a bin store in town. I have been really, expanding my sourcing options because the traditional thrift stores are just not it anymore, I don't think. So I've really kind of been thinking outside the box. This is like an overstock, Amazon return type deal. Anyway, I went there and they had shoes, and a lot of them were shoes that I could definitely use keywords for to sell. And if they wouldn't have sold for me selling them online, I know that Plato's Closet would have taken them. They were all $3 that day. These were perfect for homecoming prom, really sparkly, square-toed. These ended up going for $23. Next was a floral dress. It was kind of that like crinkly material almost. It was sheer. It had all over flower print, really romantic look. This one ended up going for $20. This was a Sears slip. I've kind of slowed down on the slips. I'm trying to only pick them up if they are like the longer, more intricate, like floor length slips, as opposed to like this one with a skirt, or, you know, like a shorter one. It's really hard for me because I always want to save these. There's something that just draws me to that look of these like vintage slips. Anyway, someone did end up paying $12, which, you know, I probably only paid like 50 cents for this at the bin. So it, like, I go back and forth on myself with it because they sit for a while, but I know that I'm saving it from the landfill. But anyways, I was happy for this one to go. This was a Moda International skirt. Definitely looked Y2K. I did use the word cadet in this. I don't know if that helped or not. And this ended up going for an offer of $22. It was boosted. I have been using boosted on Depop. I've kind of been playing around with it. Some items I do, some items I don't, just to kind of see how it goes. And with their new fee structure, since, you know, it's no fees except the transaction fee, I feel like the boosting fee is just kind of like what the old selling fee used to be, so it kind of comes out in a wash. Next up, this jacket was just laying at the top of the bins. That's why I say this all the time, that I really think the resellers in town do not look for the same things that I do. I was absolutely shocked that no one had taken this, and this had been here for a whole day already. Anyways, this was a vintage, I believe it was St. John's Bay, which that brand doesn't mean anything to me, but it was a Penny Lane jacket, faux suede, a little bit shorter than a traditional Penny Lane coat, but I did use that in the title. This ended up going for an offer of $68. I was surprised that there wasn't as much attention on this jacket on other platforms. I thought there'd be quite a bit, but there wasn't. I will say this one did have over 2,000 views on Depop. The last to sell on Depop, I did kind of talk about this in an upcoming vlog that will be out. This hat I picked up at the bins. It was in kind of rough condition. One keyword I did use for this type of look, if you see like, I don't even know how to explain it, like Y2K shirts that have flames on it, kind of like almost computer board looking type things, like tribal. Use the word Jesse Pinkman. He is a character from Breaking Bad that is a current trending keyword that is going around for a Y2K style. I believe that that helps sell this hat. It did go for $15, but there were over 3,000 views on this hat. So looking at the totals for this week, Poshmark $406 for 15 items sold, Mercari $94 for 3 items sold, eBay $289.94 for 10 items sold, Depop $160 for 6 items sold, and my totals this week, total sales, were $949.24. After all the fees are taken out and my average cost of goods, that leaves me with $675.46 for 34 items sold this week. So going into next week, I'm definitely more excited about listing. It was pretty scary the week before where I had those days where I had 0 sales. This is my primary income. I do have some other streams of income, you know, Plato's Closet, YouTube, ThreadUp. I think that's it. But it always does get a little leery there when you kind of have bad sales days. That's another reason that before I did become full-time, I made sure to have my savings account. I have not touched that since I've started, thankfully. I did kind of go over this in my video of a year recap of being a full-time reseller, but what I did is I made sure while I was still working my full-time job that in my business savings account, I have the same amount of money that I would have made in that job for a full year before I quit, because I didn't want to get into a position where, you know, like that other week where I only made $300, like that's not going to cover my bills. So that is there for me to fall back on, you know, if there'd be weeks where I don't have enough for my bills. For videos this week, this Friday, I'm going to put out another thrift haul. I know I said I don't really do them, and now that's like all I'm putting out, but I did just get home from the bins. I had amazing things that I got there. Some sort of karma must have been on me today when I went, because it was just like every time I touched something, it was like, this is great, this is great. So it's been a while since something like that has happened. I got, I think, over 30 pounds of clothes. Previously, it's been kind of like anywhere from like 16 to 20. So I'm definitely excited to show you guys that. It's a lot of, well, it's a little mixture of everything. Some good brands, mainly style-based, that seems to be doing the best for me right now. So definitely check that out for Friday if you're interested in that. And then Monday's video, I do have a vlog style. It is going to be like a work with me from this last Monday. I do some shipping. It's very chatty. I was very chatty on Monday. So if you like those kind of videos, check that out. I did bring up that I'm thinking about kind of reworking this channel. Not that I won't be doing reselling, but I think I'm going to throw in maybe some more videos that are more lifestyle, more vlog, just to kind of give myself a break. I do talk about this in Monday's video, but it's becoming too much reselling. It's, you know, I'm consuming it, watching all of my favorite YouTubers, and I'm creating it. So it's like, I just need a little distance, I think. I'm definitely still going to do my What Sold Wednesday videos. That will not change, but maybe Monday or Friday's videos will be something a little bit different. There could be some reselling in there, but maybe I will take you with me somewhere else. I have lived in this town for, I think, like 13 years. I feel like there's so much I haven't explored. The downtown is gorgeous. There's a lot of great outdoor things. So I think I'm going to try and like immerse myself into the city and try out some new restaurants, cafes, like little town shops, go on different hiking trails. So I might bring you along on some of that stuff. And then I'm also going to kind of challenge myself to try new things. That is something I have been trying to work on. I do have a lot of anxiety on like not knowing how to do something. So normally before I start like a new task or a new hobby or something, I will do like a huge deep dive into it just because I want to make sure I know how to do it. So with that being said, that definitely helps me kind of combat that anxiety, where if I start doing things that are smaller that, you know, scare me or make me feel uncomfortable, then when there's bigger tasks in life that seem really daunting, it's not as bad because I know, hey, I did all of this other stuff that I was uncomfortable with and it turned out fine. So I'm just trying to do some stuff like that. So I'll probably bring you along. I don't really know what that looks like right now. These are all kind of just concepts of videos I'm thinking of. Let me know in the comments if that's something you guys would watch. I don't know. There might be, you know, quite a few of you guys that are like, I'm here for the reselling content and that's it. But I just thought I would throw some more of my personality out there and be a little bit more relatable. Just kind of give you something else than just the normal everyday reselling content. But if I find that the viewers don't like it, we can definitely change it up and maybe I'd make a second channel or something. So that's all something to look forward in the future. If you have stayed along with all of my rambling so far and that is interesting to you and you haven't yet subscribed, please make sure to hit the button below. And as always, if you guys enjoyed today's video, please make sure to give it a like. It really helps out the channel and I really appreciate it. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!